Okay, hi everyone. So I'm gonna be doing another talking video. I have music playing in the background for my other videos. I actually made a list. I recorded a video last week or 2 weeks ago, but I didn't make a list, so I kind of just rambled on without really having a guideline, I guess. And the setup for how I do these videos were a little bit different, and I didn't like it. So I'm gonna make a new one. The camera's pointing at my mirror, so I'm gonna be looking in the mirror while I do my makeup. That's just how I like to do these videos. So yeah, I already did my skincare, but I didn't do my lip care yet. I mean, there's not much to do. I just put Vaseline on it. It's a little bit dry right now, so I want to prep it. Hopefully the music is at an okay volume. I know I look a little bit crusty. I did my hair and it doesn't look the best, but I like to let my hair sit for a little bit after I curl it, just so that it can, I feel like it holds the curls better instead of combing it out right away. Yeah. Oh, update. I got bangs. I think the last time I made a video, I didn't have bangs. I recently cut my bangs. Okay, it wasn't recent. It was maybe 2 months ago. It was in early May or late April. And I actually really like my bangs. I've been maintaining it a little bit. They're not in the best phase right now of ever since I've gotten them. But it hides my fat forehead. I used to not have bangs. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I like myself with bangs. I think it makes my hair look so much nicer. Anyways, now that Vaseline is prepped, today we will be talking about self-confidence. For self-confidence, it's something that took me a while to, what's the word, learn, I guess. I can't see without my glasses. I always say this in every video that I do this. If the camera goes out of focus and I don't notice, I literally can't see. It's just a blur. So definitely, like any teenager growing up, I had my insecurities, especially when I was in high school. I think my insecurities really started, to be honest, after I left high school, or right when I was about to leave high school, when I was a senior in high school, because that's when I started having like a life. Like I started like talking to people, and that's when I really began to wonder if I'm good enough for them. And that's when the biggest issues begin, when you start to wonder if you're good enough for someone else and not yourself. They lasted for quite a while, even though at the same time while I was insecure, I was also pretty confident in myself. I felt good about myself, but I would have moments of insecurities. I would be seeing guys that I felt were so out of my league. I still kind of feel that way sometimes today, and I am just surprised that I even have a date with this dude, because I never really took care of myself, especially for someone who just like graduated high school. When I was in high school, I had no love life whatsoever. I did not date anyone. No one really approached me, and I didn't really care for guys in that way. I was in my fangirl stage in my life. All I cared about was K-pop. So I didn't really care for myself. I didn't dress up. I didn't really make myself look good to my own standards, I guess. So once I left high school and I started going on these dates, I started to question, like, do these guys actually like me for me? Or, you know, are there like hidden intentions? They're trying to get at something else, right? I still question that to this day, which something I'm working on. That didn't last for very long because I met someone who I dated for a bit, and I felt pretty good until he started bringing down my self-confidence again. He started making me insecure because I constantly felt like I wasn't what he wanted. There was a lot of things he did that made me feel even worse about myself. It felt like he was constantly looking for something else. Like he wanted a different type of woman in his life. For example, I'm Asian, and I constantly found him looking at non-Asian girls, you could say. And it made me feel some type of way. As someone who is Asian, I didn't worry about it at first until, I guess, recently. I don't want to be fetishized by men, and I felt like that's what he was kind of doing. This should have been a red flag. When I first, maybe like our first week or two into talking to each other, he's like, he's never been with an Asian girl. Anyways, I also didn't go to the gym. I never went to the gym before I met him, and I never thought about it. To me, it was just something that I never found interesting, and so I don't see why I would go if I didn't think it was interesting. But then he goes to the gym a lot, right? I thought it was never an issue that I didn't go until he started saying like, oh, I let myself go, I gained all this weight, and I didn't agree with him but he made me feel like complete shit. So I eventually started going with him, but it made me question a lot of things because I started becoming very insecure. Like, when he goes to the gym without me, does that mean like he looks at other girls when he's at the gym? Does he want someone who goes to the gym? Oh my god, he spends a lot of time on TikTok, and I always thought maybe he would be looking at gym content creators because that's what he likes. And as someone who had no interest in working out and I didn't know what to do at all, I relied on him. He was kind of upset that I didn't catch on right away, and I tried to explain to him like, I'm new at this, you know, he's been doing it for a while, but I'm completely new to all of this and it's scary. And I hated that he didn't want to help me with it. He just kind of expected me to know it right away. So eventually I stopped going because it just made me feel like complete shit. All of this just to say that that's when my insecurity really was, I want to say at the lowest, but that doesn't sound right, when I was most insecure pretty much, because I thought he really liked me for who I was and that he'd be okay with me being the person that I was. And being with him is just, he would ask me, hey, do I think I'm a 10 out of 10? And I will tell him, no, I don't think I'm a 10 out of 10. I think I will put myself at like 7 out of 10. And he's like, what? How do you not think you're a 10 out of 10? I'm like, well, I'm not upset about that. I don't wish I'm a 10 out of 10. Like, I'm okay with being a 7 out of 10. And I'm not trying to like, it's not something I feel bad about. Like, I've seen very pretty girls who I would say are 10 out of 10. I don't think I'm that pretty, and that's fine with me. I mean, I definitely had my own goals. There's definitely a lot of things I still want to work on, but I'm okay with myself. I'm happy with myself, especially right now. There's a lot of things that, like, yes, I would like to change, and I'm trying to change it, but it goes back to how, like, I'm like a beginner at like all of these things that I'm trying to do. And with no more negativity in my life, I think I can actually do it, so I can truly focus on myself without, like I said, just a lot of negativity. I don't think you have to say like, oh, I'm a 10 out of 10 to really show that like you're confident, that you like yourself. It doesn't have to always be that high. And I'm not saying like, oh, if you think you're a 10 out of 10, that's bad. I'm just saying like, it's okay to be happy about yourself without always putting yourself at that society standard. This is pretty sad, but that's how I feel like about myself right now. I'm okay. I like myself for who I am right now. And I'm happy with that. And I'm glad that I am no longer with a person who doesn't understand me in that sense. Okay, I'm talking in ups and downs. Anyways, next thing on my list is goals. Yes, I have goals that I'm slowly working on. Okay, I already talked about that. Going back to like girls who I think are 10 out of 10 or higher than a 7 out of 10. I don't really compare myself to other girls. I compare myself sometimes, but that's gonna happen, right? But I don't usually view it in a negative way. I take it as like, oh, if that's something that I want, then that's something I should work on. I should do something about it. And so it's kind of like inspiring me. It's like a motivation type of comparison. But there are definitely girls that I look at and I'm like, she's really pretty. And I just admire her for her beauty. I wouldn't say there's ever been a time where I'm like really jealous of a girl. I don't think it's always good to be jealous, because that doesn't really take you anywhere, which is why I'm happy with myself. I don't think jealousy really takes you anywhere, which is why I like that I just admire others' beauties. Or sometimes I like look at it as an inspiration, right? I've met a lot of people who aren't like that, and that's just like negativity that I don't want to be around. It's okay to admit that you think that person looks good. You don't always have to make it so negative. I think purposely talking down on someone, talking badly about someone because you're jealous, it impacts you more than it impacts them, because then clearly it's an issue with you, because that person could be completely fine and you can be thinking all of these thoughts and it doesn't really do anything except just make life a lot more negative. And I think I'm overusing that word a lot, but I'm in such a peaceful place in life, but I just want to focus on being positive, and it's such a nice feeling. It was very hard to achieve, so if like the smallest amount of like negativity comes into my life, I would rather just not be with it. For the most part, I've been just getting rid of it. It definitely is going to be something that takes a while, especially if you're still struggling with loving yourself. And I feel like that's the thing, everybody has a different journey. It's gonna sound a little bit cringe, but everyone's in a different part of their life. So someone who you might think like, whoa, this person looks so good, you might admire them, or like they're inspiring you to become a better version of yourself, they could be struggling as well and you just don't know it. So I feel like as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. But you shouldn't be comparing yourself too much to other people. It's just not good energy. Okay, I'm through with my list, but I'm not done with my makeup. I'll see if anything else comes to mind. I feel like this is something I say a lot in almost all of my videos, but once you find yourself, it's like the happiest you'll ever be. I would say I'm scared to be alone, and a lot of people might be, but being alone is something that is very important in my opinion. You have to learn how to be able to enjoy time alone. And now that I can't actually have some alone time, I'm able to focus on myself more and my own happiness and hobbies. I haven't really had time for any hobbies. Now I do, so that feels really good. Also, just these days, like my social battery is just so low. I don't really talk to anyone anymore, and that's something I'm okay with. Just because, I don't know what it is, but I just get so drained trying to socialize sometimes. I really only have enough energy for max 3 people, besides like people I see every day in my life. I just think that like you deal with something new almost once you've achieved something new. There's always gonna be a struggle. Right now for me, my struggle would be trying to cope with stress. There's just a lot of stress in my life right now. I actually saw a therapist for a while. I don't know if the videos where I talked about that is still up, but I actually really like my therapist. But I am no longer seeing her because my insurance doesn't cover it anymore. However, I feel like I'm at the point in my life where I'm okay without her now. A little bit. I'll say just a little bit. I wish I could still talk to her sometimes, but there are moments during our session where I didn't really know what to say. I didn't really have anything to talk about. I'm glad that it's something I could experience. Something that I've always been doing since I was young is journaling. I write in a journal whenever I'm stressed, and it really helps. I get time to reflect while I write about how I'm feeling, so I'm doing both at the same time. And I'm not gonna say that, oh, everybody should do it, because people have different methods of dealing with stress and emotions. I think it takes a lot of trial and error for almost everything in life for you to figure out what works best for you. It could take a lot of tries. It might take you 10 times or maybe even more than 10 times to find something that works for you. Whatever it may be, it does not have to just be about dealing with stress. Like even when it comes to like maybe simple things like careers. I think it's just important that you're aware of how much time you have left to consider your options. I feel like this video has completely switched from self-confidence to talking about stress. That is fine. It's a little bit of both for me in my life right now. It would be great if you could find something that works for more than one issue that you're dealing with. Like, for example, my journaling, I get to talk about my feelings and I get to reflect and find solutions. I'm just feeling really stuck right now because I'm so happy in life. I don't want to mess that up at all. Yet I'm dealing with something that might mess it up. And I don't know how to feel because I don't want to push this thing that might make me happy, even if it's just briefly away, or if I want to keep it. I want to push it away because I feel like it's going to be so much stress and so much unnecessary problems that I don't want to deal with. But I want to keep it because it makes me happy. It's just simply that. And I'm in my healing journey right now in part of my life. I feel like the right option here is to push it away if it's causing me stress and it's like negative and I don't want any negativity in my life. But at the same time, I haven't felt this kind of happiness in so long that I want to just be a little selfish and keep it. So that's something that I'm definitely trying to learn at the moment because I'm entering a different part of my life that I haven't dealt with in so long, and I'm excited to see how I'm going to deal with it. I'm excited because this means that I will know how to deal with it if it comes back another time in my life, and I feel like it definitely would. Although I hate stress, I like dealing with it. I like a challenge because then it prepares me for the next challenge in life. And I like to talk so much. I just like to talk to people about how I'm feeling because then I get to hear their opinion. However, I don't always want to be talking to people about my problems because I don't want to come off as annoying. It's kind of personal sometimes. So I'm also feeling stuck in that sense. I think about this so many times in my life. I wish I had like a twin, like a clone, more than one clones, just so that I could do all the things I want. This is so off topic, but I wish I had like 2 clones so that I could ride my motorcycle. I could have a clone recording me. Okay, what did I need another clone for? I was thinking about this the other day in bed when I was on TikTok. I love photography and videography, but I like my style, so I don't really get to be on camera because I'm kind of picky and I'm really awkward in front of camera when there's someone else there. And so I think it would just be kind of nice if I had like a clone of myself to do the things that I wanted by myself. I think this is like me saying like I just like myself so much. I wish I could be surrounded by myself more. And it sounds kind of weird and funny, but I think about it a lot. Okay, I think I'm done with my makeup. So to quickly wrap things up, what was I talking about? To quickly wrap things up, what was I talking about? Oh, talking to people and annoying people. I guess that's why I like to talk, because this is another way of me journaling. I talk about how I feel, I kind of reflect a little bit, I get it out, and it makes me feel a lot better. I don't really do it for the views, I don't really do it for anything besides doing it for myself. Videography is something I enjoy. I like editing videos, and I like hearing myself when I edit videos, because then I get to reflect one more time. So that's kind of nice, which is why I do this, because I do what I love. Oh, and just talking about it makes me so happy. Like, I'm so glad I have time to do what I love again. I'm like the happiest I could be in my life right now. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.